Oi, it's not just you. Nobody wants to have kids anymore. Now, where do I stand on this topic? I'm not an anti-natalist and I'm not pro-natalist. In fact, I am one of those people that believe you should do whatever you want, even though children are living beings who are very sensitive, affectionate and can become afraid and, you know, struggle to understand their place in the world. I still believe if that's your desire, you should have kids. I'm not one of these people that tells you that you shouldn't. Or if you don't want to, I'm going to ask you why. I'm not one of those people that will even probe you and say, why? Tell me why you don't want to have children. You don't have to justify it. And at the same times, I'm not going to try and convince you like the South African philosopher, the something David Venata. My point is, if you go around saying, "Oh man, this world is this," that's your projection. It's terrible. I can't bring people into. That's your projection. So why don't I want to bring kids into this world? Well, my reason is pretty simple, and I think I did a video before where I went on a whole rant for 30 minutes. But my reasons are very simple. I've realized that there's nothing here. I mean, as beautiful as it is, and it's a garden, it's a beautiful garden, and this is heaven to me. But when I think about what is more important, I didn't see human existence as something virtuous, something, very, in a way, special. That if we were to be wiped out like the dinosaurs, I would not blink. Like in that movie, Don't Look Up. If there was an asteroid to wipe us all out, I will not even change my mood. I will just be like, okay, well, let me watch a movie while that asteroid is approaching. But to somebody, that looks like nihilism. It's not. It's just that I don't think there's anything to hold on to. When I really try to think about what our life really is, it comes down to two things, man: eating and fucking, and this, this money. Nothing else. Nothing else. You see? And in that way, it's very empty. And I have really weird philosophies on how we should raise children. In my point of view, we should raise them like animals. You see? That I see children to be even much more intelligent than us grown adults. I'm being 27, so I consider myself an adult. You being however old you are. And I think the hurt and trauma and all of these that kids bang on about, or people that have not resolved their trauma and are still healing, comes from the fact that we refuse to acknowledge children as I said before, living beings that require immense compassion, as they are volatile. You're volatile as a child. You're sensitive. You're afraid. You need affection. And above all, we need understanding. And that's my reason, my simple reason for I don't want to bring a child into this world. It's a simple understanding. My problem of understanding, I mean, many people don't understand each other. We don't even see each other. You think look around your room. Whatever you think you're looking at, you're not really looking at it, bro. What it is there is ideas. We live in a world of ideas. But then I go back to saying that we should really learn from children, and somebody who think, oh no, he's joking. There's no way. Look, to me, it's interesting if we were to actually contemplate this and maybe put it into effect. We can, in a way, learn from children than to try and teach them. But then you're thinking to yourself, but we have been here longer than the children. As someone who's 27, what can I learn from a child? Because we're not learning from children, right? We grow up thinking we know better than them, and we ignore them. We misunderstand them. And in their struggle to be heard, the child become bitter, you know. And you have a worldview that most people look at, such as I don't want to put my kid through what I just went through, you know, and because they had such a hard life with people not understanding them, or even just acknowledging their existence, we can't we can't manage to live a well functioning life where we can coexist with the animals, with every living being around us. It was someone who, like me, who even mentioned that you're considered a bit weird and out there, man. You're an outlier to even say, well, I don't mind if you want to have children. I don't want to have children. And if this person doesn't want to have children, we shouldn't really like put them down. But then again, if you say, why those people that don't want to have children are selfish, and then the people that don't want to have children say, well, you want to have children because you're selfish, bro, you don't get it. Do what thou will shall be the law. I can't believe I'm quoting Aleister Crowley. But I'm not really quoting him, but using the words which are powerful enough to surpass him or whoever his child was. I don't even listen to his daughter. I don't care who his daughter is. Not like that, but you know what I mean. There's nothing special about my DNA to be able to want to desperately pass it on, you know. And my concern is to live as perfectly. That's insane. More of my delusion spewing out. Maybe live as sanely and as intelligent as possible. And I believe that at this current moment, our societies are not sane or intelligent. We can't even communicate with each other. Why should I bring a child into this world who, if he shares anything of me, of my character trait, if he's anything or she's anything like me, they will have a difficult time simply because many people will not understand them. Then I'll bring a child into this world just so they can be a weirdo, just so you can look at them and say, "Oh, she's crazy or he's crazy." No, why would I drag someone into this game where people have no uh, capacities for comprehensions of the data around them? We cannot look at the data for what it is, right? We look at data for what we like it to be. In other words, we're not looking at the world for what it is. The children do. The adults look at worlds for the ideas that they live in. And that's the last thing I want to do is drag somebody to come into this world, then live through somebody's eyes. Somebody will hate them. Somebody will something negative, even positive. Then now I think to myself, considering what I went through, why would I drag someone into this? We lack understanding. We're ignorant. We're dumb and brute, which is the worst combination to be a dumb brute. There's a society of dumb brutes. Now you'll have a few people who are a bit more intelligent, but a majority of them tend to be children. Hence why I said that life would be a bit more interesting if we learn from the children. But then if we're not having children, then who are we going to learn from? You see, I see the downfall of Japan to be that they're not having enough kids. And so now you're stuck with young adults and really, really elderly people. The elderly people have a certain tradition. What is tradition? The inability to want to change or move forward. That's tradition. Tradition is not changing. That's the definition or my definition of tradition. I don't know what the Oxford definition of tradition is, but my definition of tradition as PD Cosmos is that tradition is the unwillingness to want to change, or the unwillingness to be open to change. Hence, you're doing things from 100 years ago. But this is not just a Japanese problem. In Europe, in Italy, they have nosedive of children, people not wanting children. And we will be left with the South Americans, the Indians, the South Asians, and the Africans will be the only ones still having children. But most of Europe and most of the West will probably be in decline. And so many will migrate toward the West. This is the future. And those people that still see life as something, there's something to attain, something to gain, will continue to have children. Some people who are stuck in delusion, thinking they want to leave a legacy, will still have children. I think to myself sometimes, do people realize, bro, you can literally live a much larger legacy doing things like this and being a a sort of a philosopher of a kind and doing writing or music or videos or acting or something media related in a form of content. You can make a much more of a difference than if you were to just bring a kid into this world and hope that they somehow do something for your name and your legacy or your family name. You know, you do understand that. There's this, I had a dream that I somehow passed and I was overlooking my whole body. I'm not one of those people that look too deep into the dreams or think too deep into it. So take this as a light-hearted joke between you and I. But as I looked down, I saw that living as an ordinary human being somehow inspired other human beings to be ordinary, as if it was some sort of a radical idea to be different. But then it hit me, this is still a dream, we're still banging on about the dream here, that we were so caught up, I say we, as we're living in the past, we are caught up now from the early 20th century to 21st century as driven by the self, deep ambition to be somebody, and so when it hit me that being ordinary can literally make you stand out, I did it and I started creating videos like this. And in that dream, somehow I was celebrated as some sort of a saint. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but in this dream, that's what I woke up and laugh. You see, I woke up and laugh of how, to me, how really stupid that sounds. That we could really worship a man for being ordinary and just saying, oh, I don't want to play this game, and just being as ordinary as possible. Well, if I have a kid, I would raise him to be, I wouldn't even raise him, he will raise me. My child will realize that I am the child. You see, most parents would not accept that they're the child, and the child is the mature one here that knows what they're doing. We're more concerned about how to live and function, but not living in itself. We're more concerned of how to behave and look right in the eyes of others than just behaving. The children lack all this. They can teach us how to behave. They can teach us how to live and how to function. But we refuse. We know best, don't we? In a world full of so much arrogance, I refuse to bring a kid into this world. Bye-bye.